What's going on, Evony and its inhabitants? I am Lego Champ from server 282, and I get a lot of questions all the time on how to properly build and how to really get the best out of your game. A lot of YouTube videos don't help, or they give bad or wrong information, or they just don't explain it enough for people to understand. So what I'm going to do is 100% go into absolute detail on number one, how to build based on what you want to do. Number two, how to cover your research, how to cover your generals, what your subordinate cities can do for you, and why each one of these are so important. I'll cover duty generals, I'll cover skill books, I'll cover everything you need to know based on what your capabilities are. This is not going to be for just people who pay to play and want to dominate the game. This will be for free-to-play players, and this will be for coiners and just for everybody all the way around. Just people who want the absolute best out of their game. Again, I'm Lego Champ from server 282. I want to give a shout out to my buddy, and I always butcher his name, but it is Tufahunda, and originally was Kane. Great guy, 100% amazing, taught me a lot about this game, and really took the time to show me in detail how to properly build, and it makes a world of difference. Also, a shout out to my wife, Mama Toria, who is also on server 282. She's a really great player, a lot of experience now, and Olive Syndicate, #1 alliance on server 282. All amazing ladies and gentlemen, and a lot of support there, and a lot of feedback and appreciation. Just all around a really great team and really great alliance. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's look at this, right? You first start out in the game and it looks like you can do a bunch of puzzles and stuff like that, and all that's great. It's actually a war game. You build your city, you develop troops, you do all of these things, and you battle other people. That's the gist of it. When you first start out, you get a double down package. If you don't know what a double down package is, it's totally fine. I'm going to explain that right now. It is the ability to get double of your purchase if you choose to purchase. I would wait until you buy the $99 pack, and then I would use it then. Best time to buy is on event times, so that's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or if you're in the United States, it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then partially into Sunday. It may even go all the way through to Monday, depending on how long the event's going to last and stuff like that. So, with that being said, let's cover when we first start out in Evony, okay? You get your keep, you start developing things, and you start doing all this extra stuff to try to understand the game, okay? I'm going to explain to you why everything you're about to learn is so important. Number one, when you're building your keep up, you want to keep your stables, your barracks, and your archer camps, okay, or your your range troops. You want to keep these the same as your keep level. Your rally spot, which determines how many troops you can send out in March. Your siege which is very, very important. And your traps, also very important. Your hospital and your research factory. All of these need to be the same as your keep. Very important. Then you have your holy palace. Also very important. So, next thing's next. When you get a general, okay? There's different types, they do different things. I want you guys to, one, look at your general, okay? Number two, there's gold epics, there's regular gold, there's purple epics, there's purple, there's blue, and I think there's white, last time I looked. Obviously gold epic being the best. On the left side of your generals, okay, there's going to be a square box, and if you click that square box, usually a gold square box, or it's on the left hand side, and it's towards the bottom, and if you click it, it gives a description as to what this general does. So it could be increases mounted troops attack by 30%, it could be increases ranged troops attack by 30%, it could be increases ground, or whatever the attribute you're going for may be. And then it'll say when general's leading the army, or when general's mayor of the sub-city, stuff like that, okay? If you are going to build to player versus player, you're going to attack other people, okay? You want to magnify and increase the main attribute as much as humanly possible, okay? This is not done by adding march speed skill books. Please stop doing this. Please don't do this. Just because you get there faster does not mean you're going to hit any harder, okay? Next thing, there's 4 skill books that I rotate for my main attack general, okay? You'll locate skill books in your items area. You can go to, the game explains the first introduction process to you, but basically you'll find your items, and you can scroll down and you can locate your skill books, or what you can do is on the bottom tabs, there's going to be 4 tabs that are available to you, okay? It's going to say cultivate, skills, specialties, and then I'm not looking at my camera right now, so I couldn't tell you the last one. Enhance, yeah. So enhance will be the other one. But you click skills, okay? You'll get a different menu. It's going to pop up, and it's going to give you different options, 3 different options, like when you click on it, okay, and you start adding skill books, there's a process to this. I'm going to explain this here in just a second. But when you locate your skill books, okay, attack if the general will receive it. Okay, an attack skill book if the general will receive it. Not all generals receive the attack skill book. I want you guys to understand this. If the general cannot receive an attack skill book, then I want you to add a march size increase skill book. Number 2, HP skill book, Number 3, a defense skill book. Those are the skill books you want on your general. Attack, defense, HP. If you cannot have attack, then you want to put a march size increase. Now, let's go over how to properly set a skill book on a general, okay? You want to level. After cultivating. Remember, level after cultivating. So you'll cultivate, very first thing you're gonna do, always do times 10. You're gonna spend a little bit of gems, but it's okay. So you'll cultivate, you'll level. You will put a star, then you will add your skill books in this order, okay? Cultivate, level, star, skill book. It reduces the chances of your skill book being replaced when you're trying to add one on there. And there's a great part of the game where if you can get level 1 skill books which have the lowest chance of replacement, if you add all level 1 skill books, you can then go back on and you can add your level 4s or 2s or 3s or whatever you want to do going up, and that skill will stay. The skill book will not get replaced if you do it that way. If you just try to do it, it's just going to mess up. You're going to have issues. It'll get replaced. You'll be upset about it. You know, you won't figure out why you can't get this right. A lot of this stuff happens, okay? Okay. So now that we got that main concept out of the way, right? Let's go over subordinate cities. And I bring this up early because it's very, very important for you to start getting your subordinate cities and understanding how and why they work. It doesn't matter which ones you get as long as it matches your gameplay. So gold is obviously the best. So in this order: gold, purple, blue, green, and white. Now these subordinate cities are automatically generated on the server. You just have to scroll around and find them, okay? The chances of you getting a gold in the very beginning, if you're not a pay-to-play player, is slim to none. You have to be able to march on it and take it. Usually you need to be a K25 to be able to take a blue or a purple subordinate city. So you guys, oh, what are subordinate cities? I don't know what a subordinate city is, okay? Let me explain this to you real quick. When you first open your menu, you go to the far left side of your screen, you're going to click on it, okay? It's going to say subordinate city. You can click on it, it'll give you a menu option, it'll tell you how many you can get in the beginning. So it could say 0 out of 3, 0 out of 4, 0 out of 5, all the way up to 0 out of 9. Okay? That's the absolute max you can have, is about 9 subordinate cities. And I'll explain how and why that works here in just a minute. So let's go to subordinate cities first. You have America, Europe, Arabia, China, Korea, Japan. Okay? These are your subordinate cities. America produces gold. Okay? Korea produces resources. Europe helps with in-city resource production. And Arabia helps with hospital capacity. Japan helps with all troops attack. And Russia, okay? Russia helps with trap attack, okay? A common mistake done is people build layers for traps. So level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, they build layers for traps. That's pointless, okay? Don't do that. Just don't. It makes no sense whatsoever to do it that way, but people do it, I don't know why. So now you guys understand what they do. They support your main city. 100% support your main city. When you go to march on someone, when you pull up a menu on the right hand side, okay, when you click attack on someone, it'll pull up a menu. It'll have your general at the top. You'll see your general that you've selected, and then on the bottom it will have a list of your troops that you're sending in that march. And at the bottom left of that area, it'll tell you how many troops you're sending, and then underneath that it'll tell you what your troop load is. So what your resources will be on your troop march, okay? On the top right, it will tell you your attack power, okay? This is very important. You need to know your attack power in your march, because if you're not sending a big enough march or strong enough march, you may not win that hit. And I'll explain the game dynamic here in a little bit. I'll touch on that again. So now we understand why sub-cities are so important and what they do. Now, let's go back to understanding how sub-cities work. You actually have the option to add generals to your subordinate city. It'll say mayor when you click on a subordinate city. When you go into your city, you click on subordinate city on the left side, you click mayor, okay? It'll give the option to add a mayor to the subordinate city. Phenomenal, right? I want you guys to understand this concept in the game. I know that I'm explaining this for new players, but I want you guys to at least get an understanding of it, and then later on I'll add videos and I'll add pictures and stuff like that. This is just a basic introduction to the game. So we can add a mayor, right? A mayor is just putting a general in that subordinate city, okay? Well, how do you choose your mayors? Well, you can pick them by different ways. You can pick the ones that say increase, and you can pick the ones that say in-city subordinate gold production, or in-city subordinate troop production, or in-city subordinate defense, or whatever it is you want to do, okay? I personally prefer the generals that give debuffs. And when I say debuffs, what the hell is that? What's a debuff, right? Well, a debuff is a way to kind of nerf the other player's attack. It kind of balances out the playing field, if you will. The best ones for this, for generals, and I'll tell you where to find them at, and also in a video I will tell you which generals are really, really good and which generals you should probably pass up on. And I'll make this really clear. I'll give you a list, I'll give you a definition, I'll send pictures so that everyone knows what they look like. I'm not just going to throw a bunch of names at you, because you're going to be like, I have no idea who they are, nor do I know where to find them or what they look like. I'll actually tell you that in this video, where to find them so you can get familiar with them, how to find out if they're a pay-to-play general or if you can get them for free, and then I'll send you a list of all the generals that are really, really good for non-pay-to-play players so you can compete with pay-to-play players. So you add a general to the subordinate city, okay, based on what it is you want to do. Obviously, if you're into Americas, you want, you know, in-city gold production, and I'll tell you which general will do this for you and which generals will not. And, you know, if you want troop training in your subordinate city, that's great as well. But like I said, I focus on debuffs. So, that's not good. To pause and edit this video. So, the debuffs, okay? It will say reduces enemy troops attack by a percentage. Reduces enemy HP by a percentage. Reduces enemy defense by a percentage. It will say this, like I explained in the beginning. When you click on the left side, you'll see a box, a small box next to the skill set. And when you click on it, it gives you a description of what that general does. If you use the debuffs, it will debuff the other player. It can debuff another player by up to 50%. The game will not allow you to go past that. So if you want to debuff somebody's HP by 50%, you can. If you want to debuff somebody's attack and defense by 50%, you can. Okay? It's 100% possible. So, let's find out where we can locate generals, okay? And after I explain to you how you can locate skill books and how you can locate, you know, what the general actually does for you, let's find out where we can find these generals at. If you go into something called the tavern, okay, you'll see it on your screen. It'll say tavern on it. You click on the tavern, and on the bottom right hand side of that tavern, it's going to say portraits, okay? If you click on the portraits, it will give you a list of every general on this game. Every single general on the game, okay? If you click on that general, it will tell you what that general does, percentage-wise, attacks, defenses, HPs, whatever the skill may say, okay? Reduces enemy troops by this amount, increases enemy troops by this amount. It'll say, you know, this will go here, that'll go there. It'll give you a full description. Next thing I want to go over is what a duty general is. Everybody says, oh, I can put a general on my barracks, or I can put a general on my stables, or my archers, or, you know, but where do I find them and how do I know which one it is? I can put a general on my research factory. Well, I'm going to explain this to you now. A duty general, you'll see it in the skills. When you click on the ones that are in the tavern and you locate them, it will literally say, general increases this amount when it is the duty general for the barracks, or duty general for the research factory, or trap factory, stuff like that. Okay? Why research is so important. Let's go over why research is absolutely imperative. Research is actually the backbone to this game. If you have quality research, you have a quality account. Pay to play or not, you have a quality 100% account. Okay? Let's go over which ones we need to go over when we do our research and why they're so important, okay? When you do this, you want to focus on military, defense, advancement, and hospital. Okay? If you're a non-pay-to-play player or you don't plan to spend any money, advancement is where it's at for you. It helps you with gathering, it helps you with time reduction and stuff like that. That's where it's at for you. That's your go-to right there, is advancement. If you're a pay-to-play player, you still want to do advancement because it'll help you, but you can focus on other things first. If you're a pay-to-play player, then you want to do military first. Then you want to do defense because you can increase your hospital capacity in your defense. Also, your trap capacity is found in defense as well. Doesn't make sense, right? But it's there. Then you can do hospital. Very, very important you do hospital. I don't care who you are, how long you've been playing. Hospital is absolutely important. Same as on your inside your keep. When you're not doing research, your hospital needs to be the same level as your keep. So, yeah, there's that. What else can I go over for you guys? Pasture, okay? The pasture is where you find your beasts and stuff like that, and you'll find your dragon there as well. Once your pasture is to K26, you can get yourself a dragon. Prepare for it now because it does cost 300 gems to get it, and if you're not a pay-to-play player, it is not easy to do. You got to pick and choose what you're willing to spend on and what you're not if you're going to get that dragon at K26. Okay? As far as spiritual beasts go, if you click on them, there's a little icon in the left corner, top left corner of each one. If you click on it, it'll give you a description whether it produces range or mounted or ground or anything like that. Pick the one that best suits you. Okay. Now let's go over. Now that you guys understand how the pasture works, let's go over subordinate cities. Okay. And we're going to go over subordinate city generals and what skill books to put on them, okay? I covered your guys' attack one. Now I'm going to cover your subordinate city ones. This is where you put your march speed increase, and this is also where you put your death to wounded revival. Very important, okay? You want to make sure you add these skill books in there. Alright? Very important. Death to wounded, death to revival. You know, stuff like that. It's really important. March speed increase. That's where it's at for you. Okay? Let's go over another important aspect. Monarch gear. When you're in your city, on the top left side of your screen, you click that button, a list of your monarchs will come up, okay? There's Ares, and there's Grails, and there's all other kinds of stuff, alright? You got wind staffs and everything else. I'm going to explain this to you guys right now, okay? If you just want to not PvP and stuff like that, you do what you want. Alright? You can increase your gathering ones, you can increase your troop load, you can do all that stuff, it's all great. If you're going to PvP, okay, Ares gear is not top of the line. Some people may disagree with me, but Ares gear is not where it's at. Ares gear increases all troops attack. Well, guess what? You're not sending all troops. You're not. You're going to pick a troop type that you like, or, you know, you may learn to layer them depending on who you're attacking, and you're going to send that march, and that's just going to be what it is. All right? So, for the love of God, don't use Aries. Please don't. Please don't use Aries, okay? Also, if you're going to increase these and you're not pay to play, you need to be hitting bosses, you need to be hitting monsters, you need to be rallying, you need to be joining rallies, you need to be doing all this stuff. Very, very important that y'all run this. Next thing's next. Don't mix and match, okay? Don't have a ground attack and then a mounted HP and then a ranged defense. Don't do that, please. Pick one. It best suits you. You'll thank me for it later. Another super important thing is when you do this, okay? You want to make sure you match it based on your general, so all of this stuff lines up. Okay? Let's go over a shrine. Shrine is important because this is where you find out your ranking and then what your capabilities are based on that. So the better ranking you have for your shrine, so there's like Archduke, Duke, Viscount, Earl, and then there's one or two below that. Basically, Archduke is where you want to be at. Alright? It really is. Archduke is where it's at. You can get into Archduke, it's not easy. You gotta run rallies and run rallies and run rallies until you get there. But it's where you want to be. You can also make offerings and use gems to make offerings and stuff like that to get your rank up. The sooner and faster you do this, the better off you'll be. Because long term, trying to recover, it's not easy. That pretty much covers your introduction. Alright, y'all. Did a lot of talking, not a lot of videos, no pictures, basically just my introduction to YouTube and getting started on Evony. So, next video I will have pictures and full descriptions, and I'll show you step by step everything I covered in this video on where to locate everything that you need. Alright? Alright.